It's easy to set a young heart on the run, to see it crashing out the sky, falling one by one. Walking alone on the coldest night. There's nothing I can ever say to change your mind. I gotta live without your love. We've said goodbye.
Guys, okay, the strat here is we're going to use the beer
Nothing I can ever
to help
say
us. All bang through the beer, that's right.
to change your. Defeated by the dreams and the memories we've made, to see it crashing out the skies like a tidal wave down on me. Walking alone on the coldest night. There's nothing I can ever say to change your mind.
Oh.
I gotta live without your love. We've said goodbye. There's nothing I can ever say to change your.
Alright, so to start off with the tricks for this video, we're going to start off with ability rotations with the Musket. Powder burn is your opener and should always be used as an opener. So we always begin with powder burn, and power shots is always our secondary follow-up or our finisher. It does a significant amount more damage. Stopping power on the specific jeweler tree, which I'll show you guys here. This is my jeweler tree. This is what I run when I'm playing with rapier usually, and it's an absolutely fantastic ability to stagger and also disengage, or specifically engage and guarantee a hit with either powder burn or power shots. So what you can start doing is you can start implementing a powder burn. Now I need to stagger them so I can guarantee my power shot. Now there's a very specific thing that I messed up in that combo right there, is I actually used my tack reload on my power stopping power. You don't need to use a tack reload on a stopping power because it acts as its own bullet, which is kind of interesting in the way it works compared to power shot and powder burn. So we're gonna go boom, boom, boom. That is the best jeweler combo right there. Power shot, stopping power, no dodge, dodge after the stopping power, tack reload into the powder burn, or a power shot, sorry. And then for rapier, we're running the flourish, fletch, and evade, probably one of the better trees. Repost is fun, but it's very predictable and easy to counter, which is kind of ironic, it being a counter ability. Tondo and Flurry are very average. Tondo, again, if you're playing a bleed build with flourish and finish, getting your stacks up is very tedious and also very predictable, especially against someone that knows what they're doing. They can easily cleanse those stacks, they can easily just run away, or even just block your flourish and finish entirely, which entirely negates all your work putting into those stacks. And when it comes to Flurry, unless you have the invulnerability perk on your armor, it is, in my opinion, again, also an entirely useless ability. Now, when it comes to flourish and finish, you can also just use it as a flourish and animation cancel into another ability. This is quite a common trick among other rapier users and DPR duelists with either bow or musket. So again, you would simply do a flourish and then simply go into an evade light attack, just like that. It is pretty quick and is also very unpredictable and often works very well on the large majority of players. This build is heavily based on the former Bleed Musket Rapier guide, except it's a V2, it's a refined and modified version to match the current meta, and it's also got some major improvements in certain areas. Now, the first thing you're probably noticing is the stats. This is what I've been using lately, and I've had a lot of success with these stats. Again, 350 dex would be ideal, but because I magnified, these are the stats I've had to settle for. For food, you want your fruit salad. For protections, you can run fire or lightning pots in this build. Most people run fire pots, but into that, we are swapping health with refreshing, as you can see here. So we'll get onto the armor perks here in a sec. Now, I've already showed both of the trees. This tree on the left is correct, this musket tree is incorrect. This is the sticky bomb tree, if you want to use sticky bomb. But as you saw before in the video when I was doing the animation cancels, or showing you guys the animation cancels and ability rotations, you would have seen the musket tree that I recommend with this duelist setup, which uses stopping power over sticky. It's effectively literally this tree, except you're dropping sticky for stopping. So those are the two trees I recommend for a dueler build, again stopping power being a little bit better. Now for the armor, as I said, we've swapped health, the last perk, for refreshing. This is purely for the duelist build. Health also works if you have health set currently. Don't worry about getting new gear. This is purely a min-max and is only if you are willing to get a new set or are currently jumping into getting a musket set. I would recommend refreshing for a duelist set. Again, elemental aversion, absolutely amazing perk in this current meta, especially against boltcaster and firestaff. And then nature harnessing, this is a nature setup. Ultimately, you can go with either ice, nature, arcane, or abyss, or void harnessing, sorry. But the two harnessings you want to avoid building a set for is fire and lightning, because people are resisting heavily against those, such as this build is heavily resisting fire and lightning. So we're running 3 fire ward arboreal gems in these pieces of armor. And in our last two, tuning the pants, which we put harnessing on, is also running that arboreal elemental ward. And our boots, which are medium, I need to point that out because that min-maxes our armor rating to 12.6, and we get a little bit more out of it that way. We are running omnidirectional evade and an arboreal elemental ward on the boots as well. Now, why omni evade is, of course, it's a fantastic perk for a duelist setup and that extra little bit of damage on evade. But most importantly, we only need to run 4 pieces of refreshing because that's the max you can have now. Now, jewelry hasn't changed much at all, except the amulets. I'm recommending the progenitor from the Tanglevine because we don't really need thrust protection anymore. It's nice to have Tanglevine and you can always swap it out, but I highly recommend you go and try refreshing recovery with a rapier setup that has glass cannon or as low con as we are. Because the amount of times you proc that refreshing recovery and are surprised at how quickly you get all your cooldowns back instantly can be quite amazing, and you can pull off some pretty sick plays. I don't know if there's any at the start of the video that were using that had this perk in action, but it's provided me amazing survivability when I am about to die. I instantly get another flashback, another evade, and another flourish, which is fantastic. On top of that, you get stamina recovery, so you can stack the 2 perks. In our jewelry, you've noticed we're also running lightning ward. This is for our lightning protection part of the build. Once lightning bow or boltcaster does get fixed, we will be able to drop this for thrust when people go back to syncretic bows. But for now, until the boltcaster is fixed and the PvP scaling is still broken, I recommend chucking your lightning gems in your jewelry, and since it's named items, it's really easy to switch them around. Last but not least, we have the finisher, and I've added Keenly Empowered as the third, since while Musket does reach Empower Cap based on its tree, Rapier does not reach Empower Cap based on its tree, so we put Keenly Empowered on our finisher here. It's corresponding gems on both Musket and Rapier, Augmented Arboreal, Syncretic Musket, of course, classic named Musket, drops in Brimstone. I personally put Crippling Powder Burn on this. Great utility and fantastic for close range play, long range play, and also lead your projectiles a little bit easier. On to the Heart Rune. It is the Brutal Heart Rune of Cannon Blast. Pretty straightforward there. Burning Blast, Explosive Blast, classic old Heart Rune. And this is what I personally am finding and currently having the most fun with, is the best duelist spec, which is, again, in my opinion, probably one of the higher skill ceiling builds in the game currently, just when it comes to how low con you have to run and how close you have to play. It is a fantastic build. It's got a huge learning curve to it, and there's a lot of fun things you can do with it. There's something else I forgot to mention. I am currently working on a Dix website, and if you know me, you've probably been using or have seen the Google Doc. Now, this Google Doc is fantastic, and it has been a massive help to a lot of you, and I'm thankful for that. It means a lot to me. But I'm going to be shifting this Google Doc onto a website soon. I'm hopefully going to have launched it within the next week. I've got the full template and everything done. The only thing I have left to do is chuck all the content onto this website. This website is going to be perfect for everything you need to know. And here's all the fundamentals on how the website is going to work. So on the left, you will have little buttons here on your weapons, and you will be able to select both main hand from either main hand to Dex weapon. So this is a Dex website, I want to point that out. So if you hit Musket, then you can hit your offhand, and it will load a tree relative to that build. So right now we're on the Musket Rapier Bleed setup, and then you have the title of the build here, which is this video is going to be displayed in this video panel here. And this is to give users and a look into how the build functions. Some highlights of the build that you saw at the start of the video will actually be planted right here on the website, so people can get a look into the build before they decide to go all in on it. And that is basically all I'm left with, is getting all that content chucked up on here. So again, getting images of the gear and things like that. And you'll have stats, you'll have the trees and everything you need to know. There'll even be a bit of a bio on the build that shows combos and animation cancels that you saw in this video. And there will even be some more pages that I've got lined up for you guys here. A news tab, whether that be patch notes that you might want to quickly get a summary on regarding Dex patch notes specifically. You can come here, I'll post a little blog information, little bits of blog information with dates that correlate to major or minor patches in regards to the musket or bow or certain Dex builds. You've got a page that will load all the bow builds, all the musket builds, if you don't want to have to go through the selection process. But trust me, I've refined it in a way that makes it very simple. You simply hit the weapon and then you hit blunderbuss. Now that doesn't load this page because I'm still working on the template, right? So if we go back, we hit this and now it loads, you know, hatchet.html. So it's a pretty straightforward website that is very simple, very lightweight, and again, resources that could be NeuroDB links that you would have found in the Google Doc. Again, I'm very excited to get this website out there for you guys. There's a help page. Again, that'll have things like the Discord where you can directly contact me. An about page, just a summary of me probably. And then the home page is the #1 build that I recommend for musket, and that'll be always updated. So again, as soon as you go to the page, the landing page is instantly putting you in this menu. There's no bullshit. I want to get straight into the build that you want to see with no extra clicks or no extra time wasted. It's that simple. I can't wait to get this website out there for you guys. I've been putting a little bit of work here and there into it. And yeah, I'm excited for you guys to experience it when it goes live. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.